Hey friend, welcome to Good God Talks. I'm so excited to have you here. A little bit of housekeeping before we jump into the episode today. Make sure you hit all the buttons. Like, subscribe, turn on alerts so you get notified of future episodes of the podcast. We release new episodes every Tuesday and Thursday. And check out the links we have here in the show notes for a variety of resources, including fun merch. I am a new affiliate for Elevated Faith. Showing you the front of my t-shirt here. They have tons of cute, high quality merch that lets you share the gospel and kind of gives an open door to talk about your faith as you're living daily life. So I'm enjoying their stuff. I love sharing with you things that I enjoy. And speaking of things I'm excited to share with you, let's jump into today's episode, looking at how we can experience more life with God right now. Hey friends, thanks for joining me for this episode of Good God Talks. Today we're talking about listening silence, which is a necessary part of all of our episodes. The whole point of this podcast is not for you to hear from me, but is for each of us to draw near to hear from God. I offer a theme and a verse and a question to ask Him as a way of helping us all grow our habit of talking with Him and therefore listening to Him more intently. And today we're talking about listening silence, and I want to start with Psalm 46, verse 10. Be still and know that I am God. I will be exalted among the nations. I will be exalted in the earth. Being still can feel impossible, maybe even intimidating. Our worlds are full of noise. We have notifications and kids and conversations. Everywhere we go, there's background noise or music. And so it can feel impossible to sit in silence. And it can also feel intimidating because it can be unfamiliar. I think especially when we talk about drawing near to God in listening prayer and contemplative prayer, which is what we practice here in these episodes, that can feel intimidating. What if God doesn't answer? What if He never answers? What if He doesn't answer quickly or in the timeline that I need Him to? What does that mean about Him? Or what does that mean about me? Or what does that mean about how He feels about me? Listening silence trains us to let God and His voice lead us. It teaches us stillness and reflection. We're not just still and quiet because it's nice or it's a spiritual discipline or it's an area where we need to grow ourselves. We are still because we know that He is God. We believe what He tells us about Himself, that He will speak to us. When we call to Him, He will answer. We believe that He is close, even if we can't sense Him or feel Him or notice Him. We believe that He is God. And so we can be still before Him and wait, not with an expectation. God's not required to engage with us, but in anticipation, because we believe that He's true. And He says He offers relationship to us in this way. We can believe Him. I've been rereading Richard Foster's Celebration of Discipline, and I'm in the section talking about worship. And he says the first avenue into worship is to still all humanly initiated activity. God is the one who initiates, always. He is the one who draws us in and draws us closer. And Foster acknowledges that this can feel impossible. He says the only reason to believe it to be far beyond us is that we do not understand Jesus as our present teacher. Wow, I'm going to sit with that one for a second. He says when we have been under His tutelage for a time, we see how possible it is for every motion of our lives to have its root in God. We wake up in the morning and lie in bed quietly praising and worshiping the Lord. We tell Him that we desire to live under His leadership. Driving to work, we talk with our teacher. Immediately, our mentor flashes before our mind that remark we made to our spouse, that shrug of disinterest we gave to our children on the way out the door, and we realize that we've been living in the flesh. There is confession, restoration, and a new humility. Those come from the silence of pausing, wanting to draw near, wanting to receive what the Lord would have for us, wanting to grow our trust in Him, believing He is who He says that He is. And so the question that I'm going to leave you with today, I already asked God, and I was a little surprised by His answer, and so I want to share that with you too. The question is, God, what do you want to teach me about listening silence? And I felt like what God spoke in my spirit was that he wants me, I'm not saying this is for you, but for me, he wants me to practice listening even when I don't get a response, just for the sake of being still before him and waiting patiently, being mindful of him, even if he doesn't answer. And I feel like he said in my spirit, that internal knowing kind of way, he wants me to practice listening for longer stretches of silence. He wants me to grow in patience and in waiting, especially if I don't hear anything right away. One of the ways I engage with God is I hear or sense something and then I ask something back or I respond. And so it is very much a conversation. And one of the things he wants to teach me about listening silence is listening longer and waiting before I respond for what else he might want to share with me. So I don't know what that is for you. That's what it is for me. But I know that this is a wonderful gift that we get to be still and know that he is God. And so I'm excited for you to experience this practice with God in a new way. And so here's that question one more time. God, what do you want to teach me about listening silence? Have a good talk.